What is going on, everyone? It's semi-original guy, aka Mr. Cannon from Advanced Wars by Web, bringing you another live league game of the day. Today we are Nickety Knack. This is a standard map with triple base airport and some comm tower support. Lots and lots of heavy terrain on this map, lots and lots of choke points. And that is it. Lots of properties too, you know, there's tons and tons of contested properties to capture in this map. Although by the looks of it here, kind of looks like it would be split down the middle. So yeah, more towards like purple sort of owning this corner and blue sort of owning this corner, and then sort of like an HQ push. Lots of fighting in the center potentially. So it should be a good one, folks. Now we have Starflash250 in Poland. So this is Po2and, which is a Poland alt. So you gotta watch out for that guy in the live league, folks. If you fight him, well, just know that you're fighting Poland, but the second Poland. Alrighty, folks, so we have an Addermere today. So Adder, as a day-to-day ability, will have nothing, but what he does have access to is his co-power and his super co-power, which will increase his movement range by 1 and 2 respectively. Now, Adder is incredibly effective because of the fact that he is a very, very quick charging power. Only 18,000 battle damage in order to charge that first co-power. So he's a very common pick when it comes to tier 4. Now, I believe Starflash and Poland both made it into the APC finals of Humida's tournament. So we may be seeing some foreshadowing to some events coming in the near future here, folks. So until then, let's go ahead and get into this one, and let's see what happened in the live league today. Alrighty, folks, so you guys know the deal for the first few turns. You know, it is the standard infantry builds, because you gotta get the infantry on the field. It is the #1 priority in Advanced Wars by Web, after all. So, second priority is definitely going for that neutral base. Gotta be getting that neutral base captured, folks. It is super, super important. If you do not capture that neutral base, you are losing out in unit count, and you don't want to be losing out in unit count. For all those who may be new to Advanced Wars by Web, unit count is very, very important. And these two players are two of the best to ever do it in Live League, folks. So if you want tips and you want to see how the best of the best do it, watch these guys play, because you will learn something, folks. So looks like Starflash is going for the back property at the moment here. So this is a nice property to go capture back here because it chains immediately into the airport here. And then you have the option of either sending the infantry over here and capping these two properties, or sending it down here and slow capping these guys after a couple days. But more than likely, you know, these infantry, one will capture this, one will capture the comm tower, this guy will capture here, this guy will probably go over here, capture these two properties, and vice versa on your opponent's side. So that's what we're looking at today, folks. That is what we're looking at today. So Poland sending his units forward. We are going to be capturing that property right under the comm tower, and then we bust out with the first tank of the game. First tank of the game, folks, over here from the Blue Moon players. So very nice here. This tank is going to be able to rush the mid very, very quickly. Now, tank out of this position, pretty strong. Pretty strong. This position over here, I think it's more worthwhile to spam some infantry out of here, at least for a little while, because you have the 2 move onto the mountain, and you have a move right here to capture this property here. And in addition, you can send infantry to guard this little area here, and then put threat on the comm tower area over here. But obviously, you know, you build the vehicles where you need them the most, folks. That is what you do. Now, Starflash builds a tank over here, so he's actually building the forward tank over here. So like I said, the tank could go here, could go over here. You know, both are viable strategies, but I feel like this is a mid battle. You know, if you get mid control, I feel like you're in a pretty good spot, folks. And it looks like Poland is agreeing with that concept here. Definitely got to go mid for this one, folks. Poland builds a mech. What? We got a mech on the field, folks. Got a mech-based mech over here. It's going to be very slow getting over here, but the mech will be a fairly good counter if the tank decides to come over here, because mech 2 days will get onto this mountain and be able to cover the comm tower capture. Now, I think Poland, he could have went for this property here, but because Starflash built a tank out of this position, the tank will immediately get there in 2 days and be able to capture or interrupt that comm tower. So you don't want that to happen. If the tank was built out of here, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it would not actually make it. So maybe a tank out of this property is the way to go, folks. You never know. But Poland's already got his tank in the middle. So Starflash could potentially, maybe, he could forego this property and go for the comm tower. Like, that's definitely a possibility, and it wouldn't really be that bad of an idea to do so because he's got this backup infantry right here to jump on this property and capture it. So you would just end up capturing both of the properties on the same day. Now, also, it's not necessarily that bad of an idea to do because he's at 7,000 funds at the moment here, folks. So double cap these two properties. You get your 9,000 funds per turn, so you can pump out your tank and your double infantry every single turn after that point. So having 10k won't really make that much of a difference right away. Now, it will make a difference later on, but let's see what Starflash decides to do in this sort of situation here, folks. So we are going for the capture. So he's not going to bother. He's not going to bother interrupting this cap. So he's going to go for the income here, folks. So yeah, income, perfectly fine, perfectly valid. Now, Poland could send his tank over here, but I don't think he will because Starflash has actually built a tank right here. So now, if Poland wants to send his tank over here, he's going to have to deal with the reinforcements of a Starflash tank over here too. So one tank on its own might not be able to effectively counter this tank here, but if this tank goes up and interrupts, then that's first strike potential over here from this tank, folks. So I think Starflash definitely has a good idea over here overall. Alright, so going for some more neutral properties. Puts his tank directly on this city to deny capture of this city, but does leave it vulnerable to a first strike here. Now, whenever you first strike a tank on a city from a plane, there is the potential that the trade might not actually work out for you. So the trade could end up being like a 6-6 possibly. Like, worst case scenario, it could be a 6-6 trade, it could be a 7-6 trade, it could be a 7-7 trade, or, you know, you might actually benefit and maybe you'll get a good trade out of it, you know. But the trade is only going to be 1 HP difference, like, regardless. So sometimes it's not really worth it to go in for these attacks like this. Sometimes it's more worthwhile to get defensive terrain. But whenever you're getting defensive terrain, it is always important to realize the surrounding tiles around your defensive terrain. So say, for example, Starflash moves his tank onto this property here, which is 3-star terrain. Poland could actually go and attack from the forest, which is 2-star terrain, which would be a much better trade than, let's say, attacking from the road or the plains. So could work out a lot better for him, folks, but we'll see what happens here. Poland decides to base skip this turn, which is very interesting indeed. So he's only got 8,000 funds. So he could build artillery to infantry. That's definitely a possibility. But because he built the mech, you know, he's a little bit lower on funds, right? So will an artillery be a good buy at this moment? That's the question that you really have to ask yourself in this sort of a situation, folks. Starflash next turn is going to have 10k in the bank, going to be able to buy another tank. And then you only have 1 tank and an artillery, and then you'll have a tank coming like next turn. So in this situation, I think it is actually a really good idea to base skip, buy a tank, and keep your vehicle count up. Keep your tank count up, because if you fall short on tanks, you're gonna have a bad time, folks. You're gonna have a bad time in DDO. Alrighty, folks, so we got a trade here. We got a little attack coming from Starflash. He's feeling a little feisty here. He attacks from the what is that called? A bridge. Whoa. Attacks from the bridge, gets a 7-6 trade. So not too bad of a trade. Now, it does deny the capture right away, but this will result in the death of an infantry. So if Poland decides that he wants to jump off of this property and go and attack with another infantry, this guy's going to be down to 1. So he might not, you know, fall in the heat of battle, but he most likely will. And you could actually also just jump the infantry onto the mountain, attack with a 6-7 trade, and then finish it off with a healthy infantry too. And that would leave yourself up 1 infantry. Obviously, it's an injured infantry. It should survive with about 4 HP, maybe 5 if you're super lucky, but That's a possibility, folks. That is a possibility for sure. So, Starflash going for the comm tower. We're going to get some extra firepower up in here, folks. Now, for those of you who don't know, comm towers do add 10% attack to your units in Advanced Wars by Web. So that is global damage buff. So all your units will get plus 10%. What the heck? Oh, boy. Okay, so this is interesting. This is what I'm talking about these kind of trades right here, folks. So Starflash doesn't have a comm tower, so this is actually just a base tank. 100 firepower, no bonuses, no nothing. Poland has a comm tower, so his tank has 110% firepower right now. Starflash goes in for the trade, doesn't get a good trade, gets a 6-7 trade, which is not very good. That's not the result that you want to see when you go in first strike, folks. So he actually sort of sacrifices an infantry. Now, it doesn't kill the infantry, obviously, but it's an infantry that's not at full health now, which is not really the best thing ever. But in this instance, I guess it's fine because you kind of do take the tank down to 6, but that does also leave I guess this tank would have to come up, right? So technically this tank is fine. I mean, it could be countered. I mean, you could move over here and attack from this tile over here, while simultaneously moving an infantry on here to either attack this infantry or start capture. Now, attacking probably be a more worthwhile thing to do. At the very least, block the tile, right? So, I mean, we could actually... I mean, attacking from here would probably be the better thing if he decides to go in for the attack, like, in general. So, we'll see. Day 7. Po2and's turn. Let's see what Po2and decides to do. We are going for the capture of the airport. Very nice. We do got to get that airport, folks. Super important. Alrighty, so we are going to go capture a couple more neutral properties. We go in for the trade from the... that tile, the forest tile, so that's okay too. The only thing I was thinking is if you attack from here, you could, like I said, you could block with the infantry, and I don't think a 7 and a full HP infantry would be able to KO the infantry, but I suppose it is possible that the tank plus infantry plus 7 HP infantry could, and that might... Oh, there's a forest in the way. Okay, never mind. Yeah, we don't have to worry about anything. I didn't notice the forest. Okay, so because of that, perfectly fine trade. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, folks. Ooh, we get a nice roll there. Actually do 70% damage, taking that infantry out. Very nice, very nice. Good job, Poland. Solid Poland play, folks. Solid Poland play. All right, Starflash, what are we gonna do? Our tank is at 3 HP. We do have 2 tanks on the way. But technically, Poland is ahead now. Just like, even if it's just a little bit, he's ahead just a little bit here. So, usually player 2 is a little bit more ahead when it comes to units and value at the end of the turn. And if they're not, then that means they're losing. Also, important thing to note, Poland ends his turn with 13 minutes and 37 seconds left. So, that's pretty flippin' awesome. Elite. Alright, folks, let's continue on with this game. Starflash has acquired the comm tower, moves a tank up to attack an infantry. Oh, this is a very curious attack. So we KO an infantry, right? We leave a tank vulnerable to a first strike though, and we're already sort of down a tank over here, so it's kind of a curious play, to be honest. Alright, so base skip here, folks, for double tank. So, like I said, once again, folks, you want to be keeping your vehicle count up. So if you are going to base skip, the most important thing that you have to keep in mind when it comes to base skip is the effectiveness of the units that you're buying when you're base skipping. So, in this instance, Starflash, you know, he's got 2 tanks on the field. Poland has 2 tanks. So you build double tank because you only have 14,000 funds. You know Poland has 15,000 funds next turn because, I mean, you can do the math. You know he's going to buy double tank. So if you don't buy double tank, then he's going to get double tank, and then you're going to get out-tanked. And especially when you know you're about to get hit by one of his tanks right here. Now, this is going to open up sort of a sort of a brawl, which Poland really, really likes. But Starflash really likes brawls too. I mean, he might not like brawls as much as Poland, but Starflash is a very crafty person. So if he's going to accept a brawl right here, you know that he's doing it for a reason, right? So he takes the attack. 8-4 trade. Classic trade. Actually, you know what? This kind of reminds me of a certain video that I saw one time featuring an enigmatic figure of Advanced by Web known as the Po2and, who drew a picture for Poland, and I'm pretty sure it was this exact same trade, the 8-4 trade on the tanks. I'm gonna have to fact check that later, but yeah, I think it was this exact same trade. So this is actually kind of interesting. Kind of interesting indeed. All right, shout out to Po2and. What a legend. All right, folks. Carrying on to a day 9. We are carrying on with some captures here. Now we have 15,000 funds acquired by the Starflash, and we pop the side slip. Side slipping in paradise, folks. All right, folks. So we do get 110%, or we do get a 10% firepower and a defense bonus from power usage as well, folks. So we all know that. Isn't going to be enough. I think this might actually not be too bad, because we can go in with tank and we can attack this tank. Then we might be able to clear this tank with tank infantry and then 1 HP tank. It might be possible. We don't even... Oh no! Oh no! No, you hate to see it, folks. You hate to see it. Oh, Lord. Oh, it could have been so good. Ooh, I wonder why we don't clear the tank. I mean, capturing is fine, obviously. I mean, get your captures. But we definitely had a potential to clear a tank. I mean, this guy's going to come up and interrupt you anyways. I guess this is better terrain, though. You know, definitely better terrain. So I can see why. You know, it's good. It's fine. Everything's good. Builds the battlecopter. Ooh. Outer battlecopters, folks. One of the best units in the game. You know, you get some battlecopters on the field, and you can charge your co-power super, super fast with battlecopter combat, folks. It is ridiculous how fast you can charge it. But we have a side slip over here from Poland. So, Poland definitely a little bit lower on the tank count here, and the power cannot actually reach with this tank over here. Now, we can go over and attack this unit over here with the tank, which will guarantee us a capture of this property here, which I think is... probably, it could potentially be what we're going to be seeing here, folks. Because, I mean, bringing it up here, we can't actually attack anything, right? So, but at the same time, we can bring this tank back, we can go in for the attack, and then we can bring these two guys in here to be extra attackers like next turn, because Starflash has a lot of presence in the middle right now. But if we don't send this tank over here, then we will actually acquire this property. No, we won't. No, we won't actually, because the next attack is going to take this guy down to 3. So we won't acquire this property unless we actually interrupt it right now. So, or not interrupt it, but attack. So yeah, he's not even going to bother going for the capture, so it's not going to work. Anytime, okay, so this is another thing, folks. Anytime you see a trade where it's 7-6 like this is not going to work out in your favor. Unless you're like Von Bolt. There is a possibility that maybe Von Bolt might be able to survive this attack, you know, but any normal CO, 1 tower, you were always going to have a 3-5 trade, like 99% of the time. So don't fall into that trap, folks. All right, so not even bothering going for the captures here, just attacking back. So just doing the damage, not really worth it to go for those captures, folks. Builds the anti-air and infantry over here. Now, there is a big old proxy fight going on over here with these infantry and mech. So the mech has actually rushed up and done some damage over here. We have some engagements over here in the corner, and we are just denying this property. So same over here, right? This property has been denied. This property has been denied. Starflash is slightly lower on funds, but it's okay. Because as long as we have 15, we can get tank tank infantry out every single turn. Unless we go back for heals like this. If we go back for a heal, we can't actually get double tank infantry out unless we have a little bit more funds banked up, right? Because every single heal that you do over here is going to cost 1,400 funds. So you do have to keep that in mind also, folks. So that's 2,800 funds right there. Worth of heals. So that's less money in your pocket next turn. But you do have a little bit more healed units on the front line, which can potentially be better. Yeah, potentially be better in some cases, you know. All right, double tank infantry once again, folks. So things are looking okay. I still think this game is like fairly even. So Poland is actually behind right now in unit count, right? But he is going to be able to get a big attack here, right? So Starflash's unit over here, he can't reach. You know, we do have a clear on this unit right here. So I could see a double attack going on here because we want to stay at a battlecopter range, right? So I think Poland is going to be going for this guy over here. And that is the bottom line. That's probably what is going to be happening here, yeah. Okay, cool. So we go up and we attack this guy here. So that's fine too. We take this guy down to 5, take this guy down to 3, which is perfectly fine. So if battlecopter comes in and attacks this guy, unless Starflash manages to clear this tank fully, battlecopter cannot come in and attack from, let's say, this tile safely. It would also depend on if this side is blocked or not too. But like I said, if he goes and attacks here, anti-air clears the copter right away. So that is a huge possibility, folks. And this is basically just the tank game. This is the tank show from Poland. He has not built a single battlecopter this entire game. He has gone strictly for tanks. Now this is a super interesting play right here, folks. So I would say like 90% of players would just finish this capture right here. So we just finished the cap and we get the extra income along with this one too. That would put us at 17, right? So that would actually make us go ahead of Poland. But Starflash decides to attack the tank. You attack the tank and you clear the tank. Now what does that do for you? Well, it opens up a tile. Opens up a tile right here, folks. Starflash doesn't actually have any healthy tanks though. He's got some injured tanks, but he doesn't have any healthy tanks. So what he does have is his battlecopter. So if he wants, he can go in with the battlecopter. Let's say attack from right here. And that would take this guy down to like maybe 3 or 2. And if it does, well, then we can block this tile over here, right? So let's see what happens. Yep, takes it all the way down to 2, clears with 3 HP tank, 5 HP tank moves in, clears, and then, you know what we can do, folks, is we can move 6 HP tank onto 5 HP tank, get a full HP tank right there. That's, might actually still be clear. So, oh, you know what? No. Oh, no, it will. It will get cleared no matter what because Poland has the co-power at the moment, folks. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, no matter what. No, even if he joins, it's going to get cleared. So we do lose a copter in this engagement, but we managed to clear quite a few tanks, right? Ooh, or maybe the co-power saves us. Now, Starflash has actually not captured this property yet. So he's leaving this infantry open to do something. So this infantry could potentially move here. And then maybe something can happen here, folks. All right, so we do join. Very interesting. So we do join. Now, that does make this unit susceptible to a 2-shot, like I was saying. Yeah, we forego the capture, folks. Guaranteed capture, we forego the capture. We bring the infantry over here as a blocker. What a move. What a move. I mean, honestly, that's a great move. Big brain stuff, folks. All right, so we sacrifice the income to get a better wall. Builds a recon over here, folks. There we go. Got some recon action coming here. Now, Poland, what are we going to do? What are we going to do, Poland? We take the trade. We do the side slip. Do we still have potential to break? I think we do. We definitely do because side slip allows us to break. And we break through and we get the attack on the battlecopter. What a beautiful break. That was a really good spot over here from Poland. Now, not to downplay it or anything, because I think Starflash had a really good idea here Just unfortunately, he just wasn't able to put any unit right here in order to block. Now, if he had a blocker right there too, preventing the tank hit, definitely could have worked. Definitely could have worked. But Poland, 16,000 funds in the bank, and is making a play to actually capture this property right here. And we might be able to acquire this property, folks. It is highly likely. Highly likely. Yeah, unless we actually bring tank over to clear this infantry, it's gonna happen, because we don't have potential to clear this unit right here. So that is a guaranteed capture unless we bring tank over. So yeah, it's definitely a possibility. I'm gonna probably say that Starflash is gonna be attacking into this though. Yeah, we're gonna attack. We're gonna sack, attack, sack and attack. That's what we do. That's what we do around here, folks. Alrighty, we got an attack on this infantry over here, which I guess is not bad, but this is... That's Interrupt City over here. Now, Poland could actually forego this capture as well and clear this infantry, because he could bring 2 HP infantry down to get healed, and then he might not even actually have to, because he can bring, well, as long as you bring this infantry down, 8 and 7 might clear a 9. I would have to double check that, but there's definitely some possibility for that. So Poland can just capture this property like willy-nilly. Yeah. Okay, so that is 17,000 money in the bank. Starflash now at 16,000 money. Alright, so doesn't even go for this attack here. Decides to double attack this guy, which is also perfectly fine. So there's a lot of brawling happening in the center here, but Poland is going to have to build something over here to ward off the recons, because the recon is going to be able to run circles around these infantry and just completely decimate them if nothing is done. But he's also got just so many tanks in the middle that it might not even really matter, folks, because it is day 13. Poland builds the recon. We are highly likely to see some recon on recon violence over here, folks. It is very likely. Starflash captures another property, bringing that total income up to 17,000 per day, which is pretty good. Pretty good. Now, when we think about 17,000 funds per day, you can think about things like getting a battlecopter, double infantry, and like an artillery. You know, that's a possible buy for 17,000. What you really want is you want 18,000, because 18,000 is a really sweet spot, folks. That's the kind of spot where you can get your battlecopter, your tank, and your double infantry every single turn. So when you have triple base in airport, 18,000 is what you want. Now, if you're max, you want 21,000, because you just want to be busting out 3 tanks every single day, but that's the way it is. So Starflash does a really good move here. So we don't want to fight into this, because we don't have the reinforcements to fight into it. Like, let's take another look at what we have at the beginning of this turn, right? So there's virtually nothing here that can contend with what Poland has. None of these guys are going to do anything. You could needlessly yeet your units to try to injure, but that's not going to work. So Starflash pulls back. He's going to be getting heals on the 5, getting heals on the 4, and has brought up extra tanks and has co-power ready if Poland decides to push. So, smart move to pull back at this point. Oh my god. Yeah. See, I had a feeling. That this mech was going to do something important, and this is the mech play of the day, folks. The 4 HP mech sacrifices itself into the recon, doing 40% damage, which actually leaves it super vulnerable to this other recon. So we're not going to see full recon on recon violence, folks. We are going to see recon on recon bullying over here. That is what we are going to be seeing. We might not even see recon on recon bullying, because we're just bullying with the infantry, folks. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right. Poland doesn't want to be fighting into this either, folks. He's too smart for that. He's going to pull back, and he's going to let Starflash attack into him. Let's just take a quick look over here at the units. So Poland's at 9 tanks, Starflash is at 7, so Starflash is actually behind when it comes to the tank count here, so he's gonna need some good clears. So we cleared 1, so that's good. Pop the side slip. We clear another tank. Beautiful clear with those 2 units, by the way. Very nice, very well played. Gets a couple more first hits, so gets 1 more first strike here. This is, it's pretty good attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 healthy tanks right now that we can attack back with. So when you have 5 tanks, that's a guaranteed 2 tank clear plus half damage. So we could go in and clear these 2 tanks and clear this one as well. So we could clear 3 tanks and form another wall. Now, I'm not sure if he's going to do that. He might go for like some first strikes, right? Because this tank is going to be out of position to cover this tank. Next turn, this tank is going to be... Well, this tank is in position to cover here if you attack from this tile. But if you attack this infantry, it might be okay. But if you attack from this tile, this tank would be in range to cover. So this tank might be out of the question. But these guys down here, you can definitely attack those ones. And that is exactly what Po2and does. He attacks the southmost tanks because that's where you're going to do the most damage. And actually, he does go for this tank up here, which is very curious indeed. That does take a healthy tank out of the equation, though, and that leaves Po2and with more healthy tanks than Starflash on the front line. Well, he's got 2 healthy tanks versus 2 healthy tanks plus 9 HP plus 6 HP, but like overall, I think Po2and's got the stronger army over here in the center at the moment. Starflash caps another property that brings him up to 18,000 per day. So he is now officially ahead in income. Very well done. Very well done indeed, folks. Was that another... Oh, Starflash. That's so sad. That's so sad. He can't get the luck today, folks. That's the second time a 1 HP tank got killed by another 1 HP tank. Now, I do understand that Po2and has the plus 10% defense, but like, come on. 2 in a row? That's too much. It's too much, folks. And then Po2and got his one-on-one engagement. So... very unfortunate. Alright, so we sack a tank into this tank, take it down a little bit, so we get the clear. Beautiful. Attack the infantry that's capping over here, which is very nice. Get a clear over here. And we just carry on. Business as usual. Clearing tanks, pulling tanks back for heals. Joining 2 infantry together so that we can't guarantee a 1 hit over here too. So this is really smart because this infantry could move on to this tile here next turn with the power. And potentially, actually with the power, it would be a guaranteed kill, without a doubt. Now, because this is joined up, we're not able to get the kill. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we would need super to actually bust over here and get onto the forest and move with the tank and then infantry, and then we'd be able to get the capture, interrupt. But even if you get 1 attack on this guy, it's not going to interrupt because Po2and is going to get that property no matter what. Day 16 rolls around, pop the side slip. We move in with the recon. So recon, sacrifice, violence over here. Taking this guy down to 8, move in with the tank to guarantee the kill on this unit. Then we get the clear on that infantry. We move in with 3 to sacrifice it. Taking it down to 7, move in with another infantry, take it down to 2. Not enough to finish the capture, or to interrupt the capture, sadly. Very valiant effort over here from Starflash, but unfortunately, that is the end of the game. Now, yeah, there wasn't really much he could do after that point. Even if he did manage to interrupt this capture, he's so far behind in the tank count over here that I don't think it really matters. Eventually, Po2and is just going to be able to win the center here. Once he wins the center, he can push over here to the HQ and just end up surrounding and capturing it eventually, or maybe even surround bases, right? But either way, he's just going to slowly be creeping up in income, folks. Valiant effort over here from Starflash, very well played indeed, but Po2and is the victor today. So, are we going to be seeing some foreshadowing for the APC tournament? I don't know, folks. We're going to have to wait and see. But until next time, hopefully you guys all enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, or subscribe, or if you want to support the channel further, you could become a channel member. Take care of yourselves, folks, and bye-bye for now.